Welcome back, Sapiens. You are standing at the threshold of the most critical transformation in Phase 2 of your evolution. Until now, we have focused on your internal engine, your mindset, your monopolistic knowledge, and the weaponization of your individual skills. But today, the architect speaks to you about the external architecture of your power. We are here to dismantle one of the most dangerous psychological traps ever set by the social matrix: the glorification of the lone wolf. Throughout your life, you have been conditioned to believe that true strength is found in isolation. The media feeds you stories of the self-made man who needs no one, the solitary hero who conquers the world alone. They want you to romanticize your loneliness because a man who stands alone is a man who is easily targeted, easily manipulated, and easily crushed. In the brutal reality of the Sapiens Rise movement, we do not celebrate isolation. We recognize it as a strategic failure. To build a true financial fortress, you must understand that sovereignty is not a solo mission. It is a collective achievement. If you look at the apex of the global hierarchy, you will never find a single individual acting in a vacuum. You find alliances, you find cartels, you find secret societies and high-trust networks that have existed for generations. These entities rule the world not because they are smarter as individuals, but because they have weaponized their connections. They share intelligence, they pool resources, and they protect each other's interests with religious devotion. While the Matrix encourages you to compete with your neighbor for scraps, the elites are collaborating to own the entire table. This introduction serves as your wake-up call. Your current network is either the foundation of your future empire or the anchor that will drown you in the coming economic storms. We are living in an era of unprecedented complexity. The days of the simple path to success are dead. To navigate the shifting sands of decentralized finance, geopolitical instability, and AI-driven economies, you need more than just your own brain. You need a collective intellect. You need a sovereign alliance. This video is the blueprint for building that alliance. We are going to explore how to audit the people currently in your life, how to identify the value adders from the energy vipers, and how to strategically position yourself in circles that are currently invisible to you. This is not about socializing or making friends in the passive matrix-approved sense. This is about tactical networking. This is about finding the other awake sapiens who are tired of the scripts and ready to build something parallel to the system. Before we dive into the mechanics of weaponization, you must first confront the brutal reality of your social environment. Look at the 5 people you spend the most time with. Are they discussing assets, or are they discussing entertainment? Are they challenging your discipline, or are they encouraging your vices? If your network consists of people who are still plugged into the distractions of the Matrix, you are being de-weaponized every single day. Your energy is being siphoned off into trivialities. To rise as a sovereign alpha, you must be willing to walk the path of temporary loneliness to find a permanent tribe. You must be willing to prune the dead branches of your social tree so that the new, stronger limbs of power can grow. This first 1,000-word immersion is designed to break your emotional attachment to mediocre relationships and prepare your mind for the high-stakes world of elite value exchange. As the architect of your own life, you must view every connection as a node in your network. Some nodes provide security, some provide information, and some provide capital. If a node provides nothing but noise, it must be disconnected. This is the law of the Phoenix Protocol. You must burn the old, useless versions of your social life to allow a weaponized network to emerge from the ashes. We are building a shadow network, a global tribe of sapiens who recognize that the old institutions are failing and that our only true security lies in each other. By the end of this introduction, you will no longer see networking as an option. You will see it as your primary defensive and offensive weapon in the struggle for sovereignty. The Matrix wants you alone and afraid. We want you connected and formidable. Let us begin the architecture of your alliance. Now that we have dismantled the myth of the lone wolf, we must move into the mechanics of construction. How does a sovereign alpha enter rooms that are guarded by invisible walls? How do you gain the trust of those who have already built their fortresses? The answer is not in asking for access. It is in strategic infiltration. Most people approach networking with a beggar's mindset. They ask for favors, they ask for advice, and they ask for time. In the Sapiens Rise movement, we never ask, we provide. You must realize that elite circles are not exclusive because of elitism. They are exclusive because of a desperate need to filter out noise. To infiltrate these circles, you must become a signal. You must become a person of monopolistic knowledge. Someone who possesses a specific skill, a specific piece of intelligence, or a specific resource that the circle currently lacks. Strategic infiltration begins with the concept of value exchange. In the Matrix, people trade pleasantries and shallow social currency. In the Sovereign Alliance, we trade leverage. You must identify the pain points of the individuals you wish to align with. What keeps them awake at night? What are the inefficiencies in their current structures? When you approach a potential ally, you do not present yourself as a student looking for a teacher. You present yourself as a solution provider. You are bringing a weapon to their arsenal that they didn't even know they needed. This is how you bypass the gatekeepers. When you provide undeniable value without an immediate demand for return, you create a vacuum of reciprocity that the other person is psychologically compelled to fill. This is the foundation of high-trust networking. Your network must be built like a specialized task force. A sovereign alpha does not need 1,000 acquaintances. He needs 5 to 10 high-impact nodes. You need a technologist, someone who understands the deep architecture of the digital world, the encryption that protects your data, and the algorithms that govern your visibility. You need a strategist, someone who can see the chessboard of global capital and understands the movement of taxes, regulations, and investment cycles. You need an enforcer, someone who understands human psychology, negotiation, and the ability to project power in high-stakes environments. When you connect these diverse nodes, you are not just building a group of friends, you are building a parallel intelligence agency. You are creating a circle where the collective IQ is far greater than the sum of its parts. This stage of weaponization requires you to master the art of the value hub. Most people think networking is about meeting as many people as possible. This is a horizontal approach that leads to shallow results. The Sovereign Alpha takes a vertical approach. You position yourself as a hub through which valuable information and resources flow. When you become the person who connects two powerful entities, you gain a percentage of the power of both. You become indispensable. You must cultivate a reputation for high-integrity value exchange. In a world full of scammers and low-effort actors, a man whose word is backed by consistent delivery becomes a magnet for other high-value individuals. This is how you weaponize your reputation. It becomes a passkey that opens doors which are permanently locked to the masses. However, infiltration requires vetting. Just as you seek to enter elite circles, you must strictly guard the entrance to your own. Not every person with a high net worth is a high-value ally. Some are still deeply plugged into the matrix distractions. They are liabilities draped in expensive clothing. You must look for the indicators of the Phoenix Protocol, discipline, long-term thinking, and a commitment to sovereignty. If a potential ally is still consumed by the outrage of the weak or the trivial dramas of the social matrix, they will compromise your fortress. A weaponized network is only as strong as its weakest node. You must be willing to conduct regular audits and disconnect any node that begins to leak energy or provide false intelligence. This is the cold, calculated side of the Sovereign Alpha. As you navigate this part of your evolution, remember that the most powerful networks are often the ones that are never publicized. They don't have titles, they don't have websites, and they don't have public memberships. They are based on the ancient principles of tribal loyalty and mutual defense. In the Sapiens Rise movement, we are building these invisible structures right now. Every time you improve a skill, every time you build an asset, you are making yourself a more attractive node for the Sovereign Alliance. You are preparing yourself for the day when the call comes to connect. Strategic infiltration is not a one-time event. It is a permanent state of being. You are always observing, always providing value, and always positioning yourself to be the most critical piece on the board. We have explored the necessity of the alliance and the tactics of infiltration. Now, we reach the final stage of this evolution, turning your weaponized network into an impenetrable fortress. This is where the philosophy of Sapiens rise moves from abstract theory into concrete reality. A sovereign fortress is not just a collection of individuals who know each other, it is a parallel ecosystem of trust, capital, and intelligence that exists outside the control of the social matrix. When you reach this level of networking, you are no longer surviving the system. You are operating independently of it. This is the ultimate insurance policy for your freedom. In a world where the old institutions, the banks, the governments, and the media are increasingly volatile and predatory, your only true security lies in the strength and loyalty of your sovereign alliance. A weaponized network acts as a hedge against global instability. When the markets crash or the social fabric begins to tear, the masses are left in a state of panic because they rely on the matrix for their survival. But the sovereign alpha, backed by a weaponized network, has already anticipated the move. This is the power of asymmetric information. By the time the public hears about a major economic shift or a new regulatory trap, the members of your alliance have already repositioned their assets. They have shared the intelligence required to stay ahead of the curve. This collective intelligence is the foundation of your financial fortress. You are no longer gambling on the future. You are making calculated moves based on the verified insights of your most trusted nodes. This is how we ensure that our wealth and our sovereignty are not siphoned off by the system's inefficiencies. Furthermore, a sovereign fortress creates a shadow economy. This is a system where resources, services, and opportunities flow between allies without the interference of middlemen or matrix-controlled institutions. If an ally needs a specific technology, another ally provides the architecture. If one needs to move capital across borders, another provides the legal and financial roadmap. This internal marketplace is based on high trust and mutual benefit, making it far more efficient than the public market. As you build this fortress, you are essentially creating a micronation within the digital and physical world. You are building a community that lives by its own rules, protects its own members, and rises while the rest of the world is being suppressed. This is the true manifestation of the Phoenix Protocol, a collective rebirth into a state of higher existence and absolute autonomy. As we conclude this third video of Phase 2, you must realize that you are part of an awakening tribe. The words you are hearing are not just for your entertainment. They are a call to action. The eyes that are opening across the globe right now are the eyes of your future allies. We are no longer scattered individuals hiding in the shadows of the matrix. We are connecting, vetting each other, and preparing for the next phase of human evolution. Your network is the architecture of the new world you are building for yourself and your lineage. Do not take this responsibility lightly. Build your circle with the precision of an architect and guard it with the loyalty of a warrior. Every connection you weaponize is a brick in the wall of your freedom. The evolution will not be televised, and it certainly will not be authorized by the powers that be. It will happen through the invisible connections of sovereign minds. The Sapiens Rise movement is the hub for this awakening. As you continue to weaponize your skills and your network, you are moving closer to the day when the matrix can no longer touch you. You are becoming a sovereign alpha, a leader of your own destiny, and a protector of your tribe. Stay disciplined, stay vigilant, and above all, stay sovereign. The next phase of our journey will take us even deeper into the mechanics of wealth and power. But for now, focus on the architecture of your alliance. The architect is watching. Rise, Sapiens. The world belongs to those who connect.